Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Collin from Triple J Armory. It is super, super windy. We're at SHOT Show 2023. We're out here at the industry range day. The weather is not great, so we're gonna take you along for the ride, and hopefully we'll get something good out of this.
I think the weather's great.
The weather is fantastic. We're warm. We're in the Mojave, baby. Let's go!
The desert is hot.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much all the footage we got from the range day. We would have loved to have gotten more, but the weather disagreed with us. It was raining sideways, it was windy, it was cold.
The rain, unfortunately, defeated everyone here today. We got to Vegas and, you know, pretty much immediately went there, and by the time we got there, like, it was already blowing sideways and that storm was rolling in, so we didn't get to spend very much time. We had about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, it didn't work out. Sometimes things are not in our control, so is what it is.
That was going to be a lot of our footage for this video, recapping our experience at SHOT Show in 2023, and we were still really happy to go. And we did get some footage, we got to talk to some people, but what we didn't expect was just how big SHOT Show was. This is our first time there, and we were hoping to kind of capture it all, and that ended up being impossible, and we realized that pretty much as soon as we landed.
Yeah, it is so much more than I think anybody realizes.
Well, they actually have some specs about this. SHOT Show published a few facts about how big this show is to try and help visualize it for you. There's over 2,400 exhibitors, so around 2,400 booths that you can explore.
Yeah, and I think we saw maybe 40.
Yeah, we did not hit nearly as many as we would have liked. And, you know, you just kind of walk past some of these booths that are like FN. FN was a huge booth, and we didn't really spend a lot of time in there, but there was probably could have spent hours just in the FN booth alone.
Oh yeah.
And then there's
easily
more than 2,000 other booths that have similar amounts of stuff. So it was overwhelming, to say the least. There were, according to them, there was at least 13.9 miles of walkways. Mad respect to the YouTube channels that do put together a big, long list of things that they saw at SHOT Show, but it's very evident that that's their only goal.
Yeah.
We weren't prepared for that, so we tried, and we got some cool stuff, but...
yeah, we did get to talk with a lot of people. We did get to check out some stuff. We did get a little bit of footage, but yeah, trying to balance the getting footage of all the new stuff with, like, you know, meeting with all these different companies and talking to them about, you know, what they got coming up and all the new stuff they got, and it's a lot to balance, especially for a very small team. So
yeah, SHOT Show says that you could fit 547 F-16 fighter jets in the show.
Mitch, I didn't see a single F-16, and I'm kind of disappointed. SHOT Show, there is this reference, it's a pretty popular reference, but it's called banana for scale. Well, I need an F-16 for scale, so if you guys could have one just in the middle of the show floor next time, it'd be pretty sweet.
Yes, it was cool to see just how large the show was, and unfortunately, yeah, they don't have an F-16 for scale, but oh well, maybe next year.
Most importantly, too, I think it was really cool to see the community as a whole come together, you know, all these different industries, and everyone comes together for this one event to, you know, talk a little bit of business, but also just to hang out and have fun together. And, you know, it was pretty cool. It was just really cool experience to be able to kind of meet some of these companies and people that otherwise would seem very out of the realm of being able to even talk to them, right?
Yeah, it's the whole industry, from the manufacturers to media influencers, like big YouTube channels are there, Instagram creators, so really good photographers are there, and then you've got athletes and
some of the people that are our idols. We actually finally got to meet them, which was super, super cool.
One of the coolest things was the Shadow Systems booth. The nice thing about that was we did actually get the opportunity to shoot those photos for the Shadow Systems booth. So all the pictures that they had printed up there, were all ours. So that was really awesome to see. We've never
Yeah.
really gotten to see anything like that.
It was a cool moment.
Yeah.
It was a moment that really made us feel a little special.
Yeah. So thank you, Shadow Systems, for that.
Thank you, Shadow.
And then you also got to talk to them about some of their new products that are coming up. And
Yes.
we do have footage of that. So we'll go now to that footage.
How's it going, everybody? Collin with Triple J Armory. So we're at SHOT Show 2023. This is day one. We're here with Shadow Systems. We're actually super excited because we help these guys with a lot of their content, as you can see behind us.
Beautiful work.
That was super cool. But the main thing is we're here to talk about some of the new guns they have coming out today. So I will give the floor to you, man.
Yeah.
What do you guys got?
Absolutely. All right, so the main thing we've released at SHOT this year is the DR920L.
Yes.
So this is built on the same DR frame that everyone has seen on our other guns, 17+1 full capacity frame. It's got the same frame ergonomics and the same features that we're known for, which include, of course, the interchangeable backstrap that changes the grip angle, not just the size of the grip. That's a big deal. The trigger guard shape, all the other elements of the frame are engineered to get the gun as low in the hand as possible. So when you pair that frame with a nice long top end with a long sight radius, it's a great gun for a competition shooter. It's a great gun in the tactical world where size doesn't really matter as much. You can carry a bigger gun, put a light on it. It's the ultimate nightstand shredding tool. I mean, this is a great gun also even for like a new shooter who might be a little more recoil sensitive. That's the thing I always say is like, hey, start a new shooter out on a bigger gun so they don't have to deal with the recoil. So really fun gun to shoot. We joked and called it the laser gun because we felt like you're shooting a laser gun sometimes. There's no recoil. So
even when we just dropped our review video today for it.
Great.
We got to spend a little bit of time with it. And yeah, I mean, same thing. Especially the mention of the grip angle too. Like that was one of the things I talked about that I liked the most was like the grip angle. It felt effortless. Like you grab that thing, you bring it up, and like those irons just are right there.
Yeah, with a Shadow Systems gun, you can configure the gun to point how you want. So if you're used to SIGs or Smiths or whatever, you can just seamlessly move over to this thing without a huge retraining experience. So that's great. The other gun that we showed that generated a lot of interest that I'm pretty excited about is the CR920P. So this little guy is a really cool pistol. Things I want to talk about really quick. So it is a compensated version of our CR. It's built on the same CR frame, so 10+1 with a flush fit mag or 13+1 with the extended magazine. Of course, the big change is the compensator. And this compensator was one that we filed for a patent on about 2 weeks ago. And what does it do? Well, it is designed to occupy the smallest amount of real estate possible. If you have a conventional threaded barrel, the comp is going to basically need all of that threaded section before the porting can even start, right?
Right.
And so what we did was we eliminated the threading and we added a locking lever in the center and kind of a tri-lug barrel that is a very, very compact attachment method. And the result is you get this compensator that when attached to our CR920P, or CR920 slide, will fit in a G48 holster. So you don't have to go try to find some weird holster. G48 length gun, but compensated with a full port compensator. It's a really slick setup. Really easy to take apart. Designed, it doesn't carbon lock, no set screws to work with or anything like that. It's a really cool, very forgiving little gun to shoot. Really fun.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was looking at this a little bit earlier, and again, I was saying, a year back, like comps are the future.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a compensator now.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
The fact that you guys got this package, especially kind of mimicking the 48.
Sure.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the big news here. We also have Foundation Series guns, which came out this year. So this is Shadow's more price competitive version of our models. And so these guns actually start in the market at $679.
Beautiful.
And when you consider what's included, there are certainly some trade-offs versus our more expensive models that have all the features, but you're still getting a Shadow Systems optic cut, Shadow Systems frame, and then just more simplified slide and barrel and a few other tweaks here and there.
Yeah.
But that's also something that's still pretty new for us and worth taking a look at. If you want to buy, a few more guns, if you're the kind that has to have backups and spares, maybe the Foundation is a good choice.
Well, that's sweet, man. Dude, I mean, that's awesome. It's been awesome to continuously work with you guys and
absolutely
be a part of Shadow Systems. So
absolutely. Well,
thank you guys for having us out. And last question, I guess, will be, what is the next thing for Shadow Systems?
Well, what
do you want to see?
Oh, wow. So, how long is this video supposed to be, right? So I see this brand. We are now getting recognized for what we are, which is we're a group of people who who are serious about putting features into these guns that make them more shootable, but do it in a way that I would say is authentic. It's not, it's not just for flash or for looks. There's real performance in everything we do. And that's starting to even be recognized in the law enforcement space. We're starting to see more agencies that are approving or even procuring shadow guns. There's now 200 agencies across the country that have either bought shadow guns or have approved them for carry. And I want to see that continue to grow. I'm really excited about that element of our business. We just want to expand and have more people know who we are and keep selling them the guns we have now, which work well and are fun to shoot. And it's just about continuing to do what we're doing now and building awareness on the brand, and then adding more products as time and opportunity permits, and as we develop new and interesting things.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's sweet. Well, I guess that covers it for Shadow Systems. So we're gonna continue on, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it. Thank you.
But yeah, it was really cool to be able to talk with Shadow Systems. The CR920P that they got coming out is just awesome looking. I love that they're coming out with compensators for the rest of their lineup as well. The DR920L, which we actually did a video before, which we can link that right here. But a lot of cool stuff coming out from them. They're really doing a good job with the lineup that they have and expanding that lineup even further. So cool stuff coming from them. It's been great to be a very small part of what they do. And we hope to continue to be a part of what they do and show you guys some cool stuff from them.
So yeah, the Shadow Systems booth was very cool. Of course, we appreciate all of the love from them. And then one of the things that I thought was really cool, and it's the Palmetto State Armory booth. And we didn't spend that much time there, but I really like PSA. I think they're kind of a cool brand because they have so many different firearms available and for good prices. So they're really out here supplying people with firearms, which is good. And they had some cool new options out, which are really just old options, but they're reviving the STG-44, which is pretty sweet.
That was pretty sweet. And it's not 22.
Yeah, it's chambered in some modern calibers. So you've got like 5.56 and 7.62. So you'll actually get to shoot it, which is cool, if you can pick it up. It was very heavy.
It was a chunk of steel, and I put the emphasis on chunk.
But you know what, it's not that big of a deal, because remember, if you're not fit, you're gonna die. We never got to see Grant though.
True.
Micah poisoned him.
PSA was doing some really cool stuff. Again, like, I don't really care what people say. They've got a great entry point for a lot of people, and it's affordable. And it's something that you can learn from, and you can at least start practicing and start getting used to it, and you can elaborate on. One of my first ARs was actually a PSA. It's actually swinging right behind us. That one started out as a PSA, and I built it over time, and it turned into something cool, and that's why I appreciate that company. Another really cool thing that PSA was doing, and there's another company too that we'll talk about here in a second, is that a lot of the gap that was left for Zeneco furniture in specific, due to world events, they're starting to fill that gap. So they're making that Zeneco style furniture for a lot of their AKs right out of the factory, which is really cool. And they'll have it as an upgradable option as well. So that way, if you already have something and you want to get some parts, you can.
If you were suddenly, you have become an AK guy, and you wanted to have a cool AK like all the ones you see on the internet with all the cool kids with the Zeneco furniture and stuff. Maybe that just happened to you recently, like in the last 2 years, maybe like myself. Now you can finally join the Cool Kids Club and get some Zeneco furniture because it's being built here. So that's really cool. I'm glad they're doing that. They're also making some retro style, like really retro style ARs, it seems. So there was a M16A1 style clone AR that they had. And that looked awesome. I'd love to get that hooked up with one of those 20-round magazines. You're buying the carry handle because it's a Chad move. That's why you're buying the carry handle. That's why I want it.
Grab it, like Wolverines type thing. Even though that was with an AK, but you know, come on, why not do
Pop
it with
culture, Colin. Shit. It was an AK.
I know it was
You just
an AK.
pissed off all the AK fans. They're like, well, that's the one thing we had was Red Dawn.
Sorry. PSA is doing a lot of really cool stuff. Even the Jackal.
Jackal! Jackal! It's a jackal! Jackal! Time!
The Jackal was a really cool one.
The
A little
Jackal's
heavier
cool.
than I thought.
Yeah,
So
front heavy.
hopefully they might figure out a way to reduce the weight on that thing. It was definitely a beefy boy.
But it felt solid.
It did.
I'm
I
a
mean,
huge stickler against
can't knock that.
wobble. I can't stand wobble. If it wobbles at all, I'm not about it. And that thing, it didn't wobble none. So that was good. But that leads me into Stag Arms.
Yeah, Stag was awesome to meet. They've got a lot of really cool stuff coming out. And just the people in general from Stag are some of the nicest people you'd ever meet. Stag has always been one of those companies that we've always liked, as far as they've always made a really quality rifle. Everything about them is solid. They're at a pretty affordable price point, and they're continuing that, but they're coming out with like a new bolt action, which is super sweet. Their Pursuit line is super awesome as well. It's more of an AR that is geared towards hunting. So that's super, super awesome, and all of it's still going to be that same great quality that they've had. Also, the Stag Arms booth was wild.
It was luxurious.
I mean, they were, if you didn't know who Stag Arms was at that show, you definitely did by the end of it, because they were loud.
They were loud, they were giving stuff away, they were chanting, Stag Arms. It was awesome. Like, mad respect to them for almost getting shut down for noise complaints. Like, that was,
oh yeah, that was a
fun
to watch.
The best part though about their booth was the floor. So whoever decided to spring for the spongy floor, that was great. Especially because, you know, we just talked about how much walking and how big that show was, and then all of a sudden
you find one of those squishy floors and you're like, oh.
You're gonna spend time in that booth because
great.
it doesn't hurt. So totally worth the money. If you're another vendor watching this and you're like, how can I make my booth better next year? Get the spongy floor. Okay, that's what you need. Apart from the floor though, probably the biggest star of the show over at the Stag booth was their new bolt gun. And that new gun is pretty awesome. It looks cool, it looks very modern, it seems to be pretty modular, which is always welcome in today's day and age. You got to sit down with Jordan and talk a little bit more in detail about that. So that's some of the footage we got. We'll go to that now.
So I'm here with Stag. Jordan here, he is their marketing guy, really good dude. Awesome to meet you, by the way. It's good to finally meet some of these people that we've sort of been hitting up online.
Oh yeah, we run into each other from time to time, so.
But Stag has some really awesome new products this year. I'm gonna kind of give it away to you. Behind us here is some of the new stuff. Run these people through all the really cool stuff you guys got going on.
Yeah, so this year Stag, we're kind of focusing on something we haven't been focusing on before. We're really pushing the hunting market this year, and traditionally ARs aren't really known for hunting, but we're kind of hoping to change that. Yeah. So a couple months ago we released what we call the Stag Pursuit line, and it is ARs, you can see the top and bottom here, that are specifically designed for hunting in mind. So we have the lightweight Hansen profile barrels from Ballistic Advantage, which cuts down on the weight significantly, makes it way easier to lug around in the forest. We have some custom CRT leather wrap stocks with the stag head engraved on them in the end.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We have two-stage Timney triggers in them, which really helps with the accuracy, getting those shots down range. All of these come in the Stag 10 platform comes in 6.5 Creedmoor and 308, and then our Stag 15 platform comes in 6.5 Grendel and 350 Legend. So some really good.
So these out of the box come with Timney triggers?
Yes, yep. Out of the box come with Timney triggers, breech charging handles, ambidextrous safeties. So we really set you guys up for immediately out of the box with a really solid setup. So.
That's awesome. And then honestly, I think the coolest thing that I've seen, this bolt action.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this bolt action and what makes this so special, because this thing looks amazing.
Yes, so bolt action is our pride and joy. Just revealed it here at SHOT Show yesterday. This is it's still a pre-production model, but we are super excited to be bringing a bolt action into our line. We brought a lot of the same things that we do with our ARs. ARs are very known for modularity, and that is what we're focusing on with this. So the buttstock and the foregrip are both, the front pieces are all completely modular, so they take down just like a AR takedown pin. We'll be coming out with new custom stocks and furniture in the future, as well as a quick detach system for the barrel, allowing you guys to swap out to a new barrel and a new caliber within 10 minutes with minimal amount of tools. So overall, it's just a really modular system and can be moved from mule deer hunting over to, say, coyote hunting for the next season within 10 or 15 minutes, realistically. So
wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, absolutely beautiful rifle. The Pursuit line is super exciting. Can't wait to get my hands on this thing and do some stuff with that. So, yeah. Last little question. Where do you want to see Stag go? Like, what's the next thing that you'd like to see?
So, I mean, Stag is in a great place right now. We are really innovating in the future, so we're super excited for the bolt gun. It's what we're really excited about right now, but we do have some larger plans in the future. I can't say exactly what they are. However, I can say that they are other non-AR platforms that we are very excited about. So keep an eye on Stag because we're coming out with some very cool stuff in the future.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, seriously, don't sleep on Stag Arms. The stuff that they're putting out is absolutely amazing. It's extremely good quality, very affordable in my opinion. So definitely keep an eye on them. Like I said, don't sleep on them. They are doing some really cool stuff, and honestly, we're super excited to see what you guys do in the future.
Yeah, appreciate you guys stopping
Jordan,
by.
thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good.
So thank you, Jordan, for talking with us. Like I said, it was great to meet all of the guys at Stag, guys and gals at Stag, and see some of the new stuff that they got going on.
I like Stag a lot. I'd buy a Stag rifle. I'd buy that bolt gun. You don't even have a bolt gun. Would you buy that bolt gun?
I would buy that bolt gun.
I'd buy that bolt gun. It's a
It was
pretty good
nice.
gun. Yeah.
The trigger was, I mean, superb, extremely tactile.
Yeah,
Bolt
as
felt
you'd
great,
expect.
too.
As you'd
It
expect.
didn't
But
feel
I
like it had a lot of hang up, which was nice.
just had a unique style, and I like that. Anything new that doesn't look new just for the sake of being new, but that seemed to have some form, some function to it.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought it was cool. So,
Yeah.
great job, Stag. Also, their rifles don't wobble none, neither. And I like that, so keep that up. Another one of the things that was pretty popular, a lot of people got footage of this right away. You may have already seen it on stories and stuff like that people were posting, but Holosun had some new optics out that were pretty cool.
Yeah.
They had that night vision one and they had a thermal one. And there's some unique technology going on with those.
So Holosun is coming out with what they're calling the DRS, and it's a thermal optic. What's really cool about it and different is that you would think like, oh, you know, when you're looking through it, you're looking at a screen, some sort of a digital screen, but that's not exactly the case. The way that they've designed it is to work exactly like their optics already work, which is basically, you know, a laser is bouncing off a mirror and then going up to the glass, and then that's what your eye perceives. It's kind of working in that exact same way where it almost works like a camera does, a DSLR. So it's taking that input, bouncing it off some stuff, and then coming up into your eye, and that's what you're actually seeing. And what's cool is that they're actually able to overlay either like the red dot or a circle dot, whichever you prefer, on top of that as well. So that way you're not looking at this digital screen where everything is kind of being imposed on that. You're looking at multiple things that are being reflected around and then coming up. So the latency effect on that is almost minimal. There's really no latency there.
It was cool too because the reticle was still red.
Yeah, so when you're looking at it, it's a red reticle. They might have other options in the future, I'm not exactly sure. But it is green, so you've got that green night vision look, and then the red on top of that, which pops. It's super easy to look at. The other thing too was, as far as the size of it, it's not very bulky. Considering what like other ones have for size, that one was actually super small and pretty lightweight. Even though it was on like the fake guns and you couldn't really simulate the actual weight of a rifle, still like picking it up on its own, it was super, super light. So that was kind of cool. And it's also gonna come in right around that like $2,000 price point. So I think like the top of the line one was like $2,300. So for that technology and that type of a package, super, super nice. I mean, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, if you think about it, like a Trijicon ACOG isn't that much cheaper than that. And you're just getting
Right.
an optic. a magnified optic, you know, a good one, but you're not getting night vision or thermal out of it. So it's actually a pretty good price point compared to some of the more well-established options already. So speaking of Trijicon, we did go by the Trijicon booth, and they had just about everything they made at the Trijicon booth, which was really exciting for me because I've seen all over the place these sort of smaller mini ACOGs they look like, and they go on like PCCs or shorter barreled rifles. And you don't really see them that often because they are expensive, and I feel like most people for a PCC will just get a red dot, or they'll get a prism optic or something like that. They're not gonna spring for this Trijicon, which usually I think the consensus on Trijicons is that it's this poor eye relief magnified optic, but that's just not the case. They have many other options, and some with really good eye relief. And so some of the ones we got to check out were smaller. They were meant for like a PCC, and you had plenty of good eye relief. We did get footage of that, so we'll show you some of that. Had to stop at the Trijicon booth because I've been seeing these online a lot, and there's a sort of PCC style ACOG scopes. So this one's called the TA47. I haven't really had a chance to see them in any stores anywhere or anything like that, or pick them up and look through them. Normally with ACOG scopes, you're kind of like, oh, the eye relief isn't all that good, so it wouldn't be that great for like a faster style gun. But this, the eye relief is great. I can look through this, and I'm all the way back here, and I'm seeing the sight picture perfect through this thing. It's not cheap. It's like, you know, $1,400, but it's pretty sweet. So those are really cool to look at, and I'm glad they were there. Now we have a much better understanding of what we can maybe recommend to some people if they're looking for a different flavor of optic to put on their more close range firearm.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the eye relief thing though too, like I went over to their booth and I was thinking like, oh, all of these are gonna have like a really close eye relief. Not the case at all. Most of the, you know, faux guns that they were on, the stock was pulled all the way out on like an AR, right? And even with it pulled all the way out, the eye relief was perfect. I think some of them I had to lean into it just a little bit, but it was right there. So definitely, like, you didn't have to mount it all the way back like you have to do on some of the older models. I don't know if that's something they changed, but the eye relief is so much better, especially on the smaller ones.
Yeah, the smaller ones were cool.
That was pretty cool to see, as far as like, it's not, you know, totally something brand new, but they reinvented it in a smarter way.
And they had some digital optics too.
They did. Yeah, one of the ones that I got to kind of look at and play around with a little bit was called the Reap.
So another really cool thing that we saw from Trijicon while we were over here is the new Reap IR. There's actually a lot of different IR stuff over here. It is a digital screen inside of here, but it is a clean digital screen. I mean, almost like looking at just a normal TV, man. I mean, it's like super crisp, super clean. The weight on this thing is light. I mean, I know this is a fake gun, so there's not all the normal stuff that would be there, but the weight of this alone, it feels like there's nothing there. So MSRP's a lot, about $7 to $9 grand on these guys, but for a kick-ass IR device, this would not be a bad option. So this one's the Reap IR, and there's a lot of other ones over here, so definitely something that we'll have to check out in the future.
But what was cool about it, and again, we're kind of going back to the whole camera stuff, this one, it was pretty big, but they kept it pretty light as far as the size of it. But what was cool is that it actually had a manual focus ring on it. So that way, depending on what you're looking at and what distance you're looking at, you can actually manually focus it, and it's super easy to do so like it would be on a camera. Another cool thing about it was that it actually has the capability of running an external battery pack. So all you need is a USB Type-C. I'm pretty sure it was a Type-C. But if you get one of those cords and then you get like some sort of external battery pack, it doesn't have to be anything special, but you can like strap that to the rifle somehow, and you could run that optic for a lot longer than you normally would. It does have an internal battery, but you can just extend that battery life a lot longer if you wanted to. Or let's say you're out doing something, you know, you're out hunting, you're doing a hog hunt or whatever, and you don't have a cabin that you're staying at that has power, you're staying in a tent, and you want to recharge your optic, you can do it that way. So that was kind of a cool little thing that they did.
Trijicon's badass, man. It's interesting seeing how many parallels there are between camera equipment and firearms, the whole firearm industry as a whole. I come from more of a camera background, and I see the parallels all the time between cameras and guns. And one of the cool things too, like I used to use Zeiss lenses a lot on my cameras, and I loved them. They were very good, and I still should probably buy more. But the Zeiss booth was there, and we stopped and talked to them. We didn't really get any footage. We didn't talk to anybody extensively, but it was cool to see them still pushing a lot of different optics, and for hunting or for long range shooting, they have some awesome scopes. And they even have an LPVO now, which was really nice. A lot of their stuff's really lightweight. Their light transmission is really good. So in low light and the dark, it seemed like it would work really well. Just really good optical quality out of those scopes.
Zeiss is one of those companies that I think a lot of people sleep on it, and it is definitely more of an expensive company as far as glass. But if you want top of the line glass, that's who you should look at. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that make great stuff, and it's hard to talk negatively or positively about each and every one of them that we saw, but they're one of those people that, again, they're slept on, and they make a great scope. They make amazing glass. So if you're looking for a hunting scope, an LPVO, you want something that's super, super nice, definitely check out Zeiss.
Yeah,
Zeiss.
Zeiss optic, yeah. We also got a chance to stop over at the Spiritus booth, which was cool because they're just flat out cool all over. They've got cool gear, they got cool photographers, they got cool content. Everything about Spiritus is cool. And you got to talk to them about their new pack.
Yeah, so Spiritus is coming out with a new med pack. It's extremely modular, just like everything they do. But it was super cool to talk to them. They kind of took us on a deep dive of everything that you could do. They had one pack that was empty, one pack that was full, and they were able to kind of walk us through all the different options and all the different ways that you could maybe have a med pack. The other thing that was cool and that I appreciated was that it's actually a backpack and not a back panel. I prefer backpacks just because it's something that I can easily and quickly take off, whereas a back panel, not as easy to get to, at least on yourself. So you're gonna either have to have somebody get in there for you, or you're gonna have to take it off and swing it and try to figure it out that way. So the backpack route was super nice, but yeah, check it out right now.
I'm not gonna play it right now. I'm gonna play it right now.
All right, so we're here at the Spiritus booth. I'm here with Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Hi.
Kevin is an amazing photographer, so make sure to please go check out his work and Spiritus's work in general. We love these guys, they're a huge inspiration. But what you got here, so you got a new med bag coming out from what you were telling me earlier.
Yes.
Explain a little bit about that for me.
So this is the Delta med bag. It's designed to be a pack that somebody can wear on an assault. It's not meant to replace like an M9 med bag. This is supposed to be nice and trim, not really get in the way.
I say it's super compact.
It's very compact, yeah. So it does come with its own shoulder straps. If we look on the back here, this is flat, and then there's these zippered, double-sided zippers on there. So this is for, you can put flat items back here, chest seals, casualty cards, stuff like that. We move around. This guy opens up like a briefcase. So it opens up all the way. On the inside, I can show you this one that doesn't have stuff on it. It is lined with loop. So you can set this up however you want with your equipment. And we have these med, inserts that will go in there, especially like our new med tray insert, which is kind of like this grid, where you can set up the shock cord in any arrangement that you wish, and then just set it in there. And what's great about this is that they have these briefcase handles on the sides here, so if you have to move in a hurry, you can just grab this up, and all your stuff's not going to be falling out when you move to a different point.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that you went backpack route and not back panel route, just because I'm that type of person where I don't use a back panel at all.
Right.
Just because it's much easier to have something slung on my back and rip that off rather than having to have somebody either grab it from the back of me or take my plate carrier off or swing my plate carrier, whatever it is. So
yeah, exactly. And
that's super sick.
This is for the medic. He's going to have to take this off. He's going to have to work on a casualty. Also on the inside, the spine, it's drilled with these holes, so you can lash whatever equipment that you need in there.
I love that.
There's also these 4 small lashing points on each side,
right,
to lash other things, and then 2 large ones there. So you know you can put carabiners on this, hanging up somewhere if you need to access stuff where this is where it's hung up on something. Okay, close that up and look at the front. You have these 3 pockets here with a diagonal zipper, double 2-sided zipper. So the diagonal zipper allows the pack to stay closed, pretty much. So it's not going to be spilling out, but you can open this all the way, and access whatever you need in there. And on the inside, you have Velcro, or you have loop rather. You can put any kind of insert in there as well. And in the bottom, it is mesh. So it's mesh on the bottom there, mesh on the bottom there, and then you have drain holes on the bottom, on the very bottom. So if it does get wet, water will flow through all the way and not retain the water within the pack itself.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
You have loop panels right here for identifiers, and then on the side here, I can show you this one here. You have laser cut MOLLE, so you can use single row MOLLE pouches. You also have these holes drilled there, so you can set up like a shock cord arrangement for your tourniquets as well. And then on the top, it's drilled right here for your shears. So
nice.
You can set your shears in this guy right there. Yeah, it's a larger hole on the top and the smaller hole on the bottom for them.
Designed with intent.
Yeah, and then you have all these other holes drilled around, so you can set up like an arrangement for your chem lights or whatever.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
I mean that is an extremely flexible med bag.
Yeah, it's
which I mean that's one of the things I've always appreciated about Spiritus. Which like guys, if you do not know who Spiritus is and you're looking for good gear, I run Spiritus stuff. It's amazing. It's extremely modular, as you just saw, and this is just a med bag. Imagine all the other stuff that they have. But yeah, dude, that's sick. I actually really appreciate you taking the time to kind of go through that with us.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, we'll keep on moving on. Thank you so much again, Kevin.
Thank you.
Make sure to check out Spiritus, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
One of the things we didn't plan on meeting with them, we didn't plan on talking to them, but we were walking by and it really caught our eye, and that was Kalashnikov USA. Again, they're basically coming out with a new lineup to support what they already have, but it's called their EB line. And that EB line is again basically out of the factory. You can buy their AKs, whether it's the KP9, the 103, fully decked out. So now they're going to also be supplying that furniture, that Zenico style furniture. But what's cool is that you can either buy it that way, or you could buy the parts to make what you already have look that cool and to have that functionality as well. So that was really cool to see. I know you were a huge fan of it.
Dude, I love a KP9. The KP9's a handsome gun.
Real quick, we were kind of walking through and we stopped by Kalashnikov USA, and one of the things that caught our eye was this little bad boy. Mitch wants me to particularly tell you that it is handsome. He's behind the camera right now. This is actually the KP9EB. It's essentially a very Gucci'd out version of the KP9 from the factory. So they did a really, really nice aftermarket rail, as well as this nice little gnarled guy right here, so that way it's easy to grab that charging handle. The safety feels superb. The magazine release is smooth, responsive. That clicks in super nice. But yeah, just one of the things that caught our eye as we were kind of walking through here. We wanted to stop, make a special note of it. We do love the KP9, so yeah, we're gonna keep on moving, but the KP9EB, there you go.
That was one that was really cool, and it's going to be exciting to see that stuff come out because, like I said earlier, I've been wanting to do an AK build and I wanted to get the Zenico stuff, but that don't exist no more. So what's a guy got to do? Well, Kalashnikov, they picked up the phone, they answered, so that's pretty sweet.
You guys all know we're big fans of the Walther PDP already, based on our other video that we did.
Your Walther pistol, sir.
and we did stop by the Walther booth, which was nice. We got to talk to Chris, and he was going over the new edition of the P99, the final edition.
Hey everybody, Colin with Triple J Armory. So we're here at the Walther booth. I'm here with Chris. Chris is a good buddy of ours, and y'all know that we like the PDP, but they have a new gun here. This is the
P99 final edition. So it's a new version of an old gun, and it's actually the final version of an old gun. We've been making this since 1997. And we needed to kind of send it off, but we wanted to give it sort of a Vikings funeral, right? We didn't want to just say, hey, we're not making that anymore. It's got a whole lot of fans. So a lot of times, people love the paddle mag release. They love the decocker system. It's kind of a single, double trigger system within the same gun. And we were the first people to do that. Like I said, we don't want to just get rid of it. We want to make sure that it's kind of sent off to sea in a way that people will appreciate and remember.
Well, that's really cool. I think a lot of companies, they don't do special things like that. They're always kind of like on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And to see you guys kind of pay attention to something that has had such a popularity for such a long period of time, it's something that, not a lot of people are doing it, and that's super, super special.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks.
One last little question. Where do you want to see Walther go?
I love the concealment thing, man. I'm really big into the concealment red dot game, so you're going to see that stuff kind of flowing into everything you're moving forward. And we really did that with the PDP. The Pro SD was a huge step in the right direction. It's more performance geared. It's got the removable mag well, the dynamic performance trigger, threaded barrel. It's funny, like people are like, oh, threaded barrel, not everybody has a suppressor. No, but I like to shoot comp guns a lot. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you could have the option for a comp, a suppressor, like,
Absolutely.
Why not? So,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's definitely something for my PDP. Like, I want to get a threaded barrel for it so that I can get a comp on there, run a suppressor. So,
Big time.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking with us real quick, and we'll see you soon, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks.
Which was cool to see.
Yeah, there's not a lot of companies that will actually honor something that they've been making, and that was definitely a special thing to see because it's actually one of their longest running service pistols. So to see them kind of take that and make this final edition as like a last hurrah and a send-off to, hey, this is what we were doing, but here's what the future is, that was pretty cool. And also, I mean, the P99, super smooth. The ergonomics were great. So if that's, if you're in the market for a pistol and you want something that's special and it's not going to be around anymore, the P99 might be the right one for you. Mitch, what was your favorite thing at SHOT Show?
Look, this is going to sound weird, but my favorite thing at SHOT Show was the floor at Stag Arms.
Oh my God. That can't be your favorite thing.
Well, I also thought their bolt gun was really cool too. Okay, so I think that was, I think it's fun that one of the more exciting things at the show was a bolt action rifle.
True.
It's nice
There's
to see that.
There's not enough love for the bolt action.
There isn't, and hunting is a big deal, and we're hopefully going to do some more content about hunting in the future to express that a little bit more deeply. But it's just nice to see that just a classic action, like a bolt action, a hunting rifle really, is being rethought of, redesigned in a way by some fresh new minds and being shown off in a really cool way. I love the aesthetic of it, and let's be honest, for a lot of us, sometimes we like a gun just because it looks cool. That gun just looks cool.
Hey,
and
if you look good, you feel good.
That new rifle.
There's a part of that rings true.
That's true, yeah. But that was it for me. I did like a lot of the stuff that PSA put out, and I liked that handguard situation, the new Zenico style furniture from both PSA and KUSA.
Yeah, it's just nice to see that these brands are doing that and trying to fill the gap that was left.
Yeah, and those are cool, but definitely favorite gotta be that bolt gun from Stag. I'm excited to see that and give it a shot, and hopefully they still have that floor next year. Colin, what was your favorite thing at SHOT Show?
Well, I'd honestly have to say that my favorite thing had to have been the Kalashnikov USA KP9 EB. Because like I said, we were walking by and like that immediately caught the eye. I was like I've been wanting to do a KP9 build for a while, and I wanted to get the KP9, and then I wanted to get the Zenico furniture, and I was going to deck it all out. It's going to be beautiful. but then those dreams kind of got crushed. And now they've been revitalized. And so that was really exciting for me because I was like, hey, like, finally you can get it like this from the factory. You don't have to buy this, then this, then this.
And this, 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 and this.
And then get it all thrown together and have to, you know, wait for something to come from a faraway land. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So that was super exciting for me, at least personally, because like that's definitely something that like might get my hands on, you know what I'm saying?
What was your least favorite thing?
My least favorite thing about SHOT Show?
I know what my least favorite thing was. I was disappointed because I love Henry, but I was disappointed that they didn't have a bigger showing. They had a tiny little booth with 3 rifles in a case, and that was it. And I think they're a really great brand. I think they make awesome lever guns. I hope next year maybe they reconsider and they have a bigger booth and just show off what they make, because it is cool. I know it's,
that is true.
I know it's just a lever gun and it's not, you know, a revolutionary thing, and you know, they could come out with new additions and this and that, but I think the industry needs to see that they're there and that they are making really nice lever options, because there were plenty of other booths that had lots of lever guns that they were showing off, and I didn't really get to sit and look at them, but I saw them all over. The lever gun is popular right now, and
it is.
They could.
The lever gun's not going anywhere, and I hope they don't take that for granted, essentially.
Exactly. They need to show themselves off. So I was hoping to see a bigger showing from Henry, and that was probably my biggest letdown from SHOT Show. Your least favorite thing at SHOT Show? You have to have something you didn't like.
I don't know, was there anything that you remember I was talking about that I didn't like?
Probably me.
No. Yeah, because like besides like walking or like, besides my body hurting, I mean, I feel like that's like a cop-out.
So your least favorite thing was just how physically taxing that show was. You would have preferred to have like a one wheel or a hoverboard.
Honestly, if I could have just had somebody like pulling me around in like a little rider, like the red wagons.
Oh my gosh. Next year we'll make that happen for you.
That would have been fantastic.
Someone put in a moving walkway, so Collin will be happy next year at SHOT Show.
That would be amazing. Like, you know those walkway? Like escalator things at the airport that everyone loves to like just run up and down? Mm-hmm. If they could like have that for some of the walkways, it'd be super nice.
Yeah. SHOT Show. Collin, this train is coming to its last stop, and we're going to get off where we get to tell you how appreciative we are that we have supporters, we have people that follow us on social media. We get to work at a great company like Triple J that got to take us out to SHOT Show, and it was really fun. I had a blast. I'm really glad we got to meet so many people there. I'm glad I got to see that event and realize just how big it is, and hopefully next year we will be much more prepared and bring you a much more in-depth video and try to capture a little bit more of SHOT Show. We know now we can't capture all of it, but that's kind of the beauty of SHOT Show, is it's that big, and everybody in the industry who's in media is there. So if we don't get it, somebody else is going to for sure. If you enjoyed our video trying to recap SHOT Show 2023, please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that like button and hitting the bell button. And leave a comment if there's anything that you want us to definitely go check out next year, or a booth that you want us to see. Obviously, we're going to try to cover all the new stuff next year, but if there's anything else you think would work out for us or that you'd like us to change, just drop a comment. Or if you want to make fun of me, do that also.
One last little thing, guys. The world of social media is starting to make some changes, and I bet you've already heard some of it. When we say, hey, if you could like, comment, subscribe, share, that stuff really does matter, and it honestly matters more than ever, especially now that a lot of these platforms are starting to crack down. So if you do enjoy this stuff, please consider doing all the stuff that we just said, because it truly does help us out. And like I said, now more than ever, we don't want to see anybody go away. We don't want to see any of the content that we enjoy go away, and we hopefully you guys don't want to see it go away either. So not just us, but everybody in this industry, everybody that makes content, now is the best time that you guys can show support, and it's totally free, and all it takes is a click. That's all it takes. So if you guys can do that, It helps us out. It helps this entire industry out. It helps all the content creators out. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for watching. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
I wish we had enough followers to where I could just sit here and eat Taco Bell on a video. Do you think anybody would care?
Genuinely, no.